So we know that Sega's other football management game, Sega Football Club Champions, is going to be powered by Football Manager. If you didn't see already, my video yesterday actually explored what that meant, but we've got a bit more clarification today, courtesy of FM Console, aka Stig. Make sure you go check out his channel. He sent me a whole load of info. He wasn't able to make the video himself, so he's kindly lent me all this information, and I've got a whole load, because there's a lot of stuff out there in Japanese which they haven't given to the English audience on this new game and what it is. But if you didn't see my video yesterday, there were a few things I just want to sort of highlight. This might be a few days ago now, the video, by the time I get this out, but basically, the match engine thing is not the powered by Football Manager. The match engine actually runs on Unity, or we don't know about the new game, but the last game definitely ran on Unity, and the thing that is powered by Football Manager is the database and all the licensing and things like that. So really, it's not like a connected game. It's its own series. In fact, it's been in Japan for a long time. There was another European release called Let's Build, and US release called Let's Build a Soccer Club way back on the PS2. But this is like iteration 10 of the series, maybe 9 of the series. There's been quite a lot of them. They started on the Sega Saturn way back with, it's a completely different kind of game. It's like a RPG-esque football game. The recent ones, the one that's coming out and the one that's just been out, the one that you can go play on your iPhone now that I played the other day, more like the football management games you would find on a mobile phone. They're microtransactions. They're not very similar to the old games. They are a lot more gacha mechanics and things like that. So I'm going to have a look at, probably the new one is going to be like that too, and we're going to see today from the stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into the new stuff that we can see about this new game that's coming. All right, so obviously we know that the beta is coming. There's a little bit more information on the beta in Japan. Interestingly, the Japan beta you can also apply for Steam, which you can't do on the European US beta. 15,000 people that they're going to do. If it exceeds, they'll be selected by lottery. So we'll see how many people get onto the beta. I'll be interested to try it, but I'm kind of hesitant about the whole microtransactions thing. But let's have a look at some of the other stuff. So there's this tweet for a start. Sakatsuki, which is the game that the name of the game in Japanese, the series in Japanese. So in Sakatsuki mode, schedule progression selection edition, when you want to proceed slowly, proceed normally. You can proceed while taking charge of a match. Use simple progression when you want to progress quickly. You can choose according to situation. This is maybe a little bit lost in translation. Even during simple progress, you can fine choose your settings. Now we get some videos. So this is what the game looks like, which is kind of interesting. I'm just going to resize it for you guys a little bit. Which is kind of interesting because I mean, the graphics on this look good. Like, if this was the graphics in Football Manager, that would be really cool. So yeah, you can see that this is like a video of the training. Obviously, if you had to watch that every time your players went out and trade, it'd make a very, very, very slow game. You're not controlling the players in this game. Now, I don't know. The player faces actually look quite good as well, but the graphically. So if you saw the last one, you saw my last video, they were very much a chibi style, like a big head mode style. Now they've like changed it, so they've also got like a realistic look to all the players and the managers and the staff, etc. Like, could you imagine if in Football Manager, when you were like having a conversation with someone, they were stood there talking to you like this? I don't see why not. Like, maybe you would make it a little more snappy, a little bit more quick, but that would be kind of cool. I don't like it. I think it takes too long. I know FIFA does it at the minute. I think it takes too long sometimes, but I think if you could just drop into a conversation with someone like that, just like, maybe that's where we need to be in 2024. I don't know. Is that just window dressing? Perhaps, but kind of interesting here. Like, you can go and have a conversation with people. But that's what management is. Like, if I was making a management game today, this is what I would maybe do. I'd make it more like the way in which a manager might work. Maybe he would send an email. Maybe he would go and talk to the people. So it's definitely, and levels of optionality in between. Obviously, these fixtures are happening, and you've got training and conversations going on. I can't translate this bit here, unfortunately, but we will be able to translate a little bit more. And look, you're getting XP and you're building out these things. I'm not so keen on that because it's just all predatory based on microtransactions. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look at some of the other stuff that we have. So we also have this page, which I can helpfully translate as well. The latest installment in Soccer Simulation Sakatsuki series, Let's Make a Professional Football Club. Soccer Club 2025 will released. I don't know if anyone recognizes who that is, but that's Keisuke Honda, looking very, very like, I mean, look at those cheekbones. That's That's quite some man. But yeah, it's going to be cross play and cross save, and it's on PlayStation 4 as well, which I found really interesting. So cross play, cross save. This is going to be like the tactic screen. Now some of this, obviously I can't translate. If you speak Japanese, feel free to translate. I think this, and I'm actually going to open this in a wider picture. I think this is the console layout. That looks like a console layout. That looks too small to be a phone layout, and it's also horizontal. It's quite a wide aspect ratio, but I think, with your icons along the bottom, you're going to go along. It's a bit like a FIFA menu. You're going to go along and select them, and then, you've got your awards and stuff up here, and probably you can move around, press your R2 button or whatever, get up there. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Some of the stuff looks very similar to the one I played yesterday. Some of the stuff looks a little bit different. And this is how the in-game is going to look as well, which I think is also kind of interesting. Because that as a match engine looks kind of nice. And that is maybe the first or one of the first versions that we're seeing. And I think this is interesting, even if this is not what's going into Football Manager. I think what's interesting is that from what I understand, and we're going to have a look at this, this is also using Unity. The last one used Unity, and this one used Unity. And that's like kind of interesting in what Unity is capable of in terms of a football game, because we've not really seen it played out. We know that some of Total Club Manager, one of them, I think the one with Mourinho on it, that one is built. I've done a video on it a long time ago. That one is built with Unity, but we've not really seen a proper football game build out on Unity. And I would say graphically, this looks better than Football Manager. Like, if this is the view that you got while playing Football Manager, and you could see the players, like, they're all in different parts of their run, etc. I think it looks kind of nice. Of course, we've got the other bits that we've sort of seen. We know about the licenses. So in the Saka, there's two modes: the Saka Suzuki mode and the Dream Team mode. So Saka Suzuki mode, you're the club manager in Sandbox World, become the strongest team of the Dream Team. You create a team with selected players trained in the same mode and play PvP, asynchronous and PvP content. So PvE content. So it's not synchronous. You're not playing directly against the other person. They probably just uploads their squads and you'll play against them, a bit like how a lot of these mobile games work. As the manager, you'll make various decisions within the team, such as developing promised players, scouting players, etc. And if you haven't seen what I was doing in yesterday's video, the other day's video, go check that out. Something interesting, of course, the Manchester City license is now in this, and I wonder whether the update, well, I think we've all worked out the update to Football Manager is as a result of them sort of transferring their license across to be available in this game, perhaps. So they also did a Sega showcase, which I'll see if I can scroll forwards and we can show you. I need to get the captions up here, and in fact, I'm going to move my head just so we can see the captions, make sure we can see them. Right now, they just say music, but when we get to the actual thing, there's some interesting stuff in here. So they're going to show a few things in the game. I have a feeling this is entirely about the game. So yeah, this is going to be from Miyazaki, who's the producer of, they called it Road to the World Professional, Road to Build a Professional Football Club. But yeah, here we go. So it's actually from a different, it's obviously not from Sports Interactive, it's from a completely different studio. The last one's on its 7th anniversary. Now, obviously, a lot of people have invested a lot into that game, and now they're releasing this game. So you imagine people who've invested a lot into one iPhone game, and there's a new one. This is the trailer that we already saw, showing the older games, which I think is kind of interesting. But yeah, this is like starting fresh. Now, of course, I did point out that the last game was also powered by Football Manager, so anything about where Football Manager is involved, I think, it's not too much to worry about. So they are going to show some footage in this video as well, which we'll have a look and we'll sort of examine a bit later on. But I think it's kind of interesting because it's also going to show what mobiles and stuff are capable of in terms of a football simulation game. Okay, so they got the J League licenses to go along with Football Manager as well. This is expected to receive a variety of opinions regarding this free-to-play feature. I am just going to scroll down into the comments, because even though these are in Japanese, translate to English. I was excited to hear it's a new game, but it's a social game. It goes against the wishes of fans who want to play at home. What does it mean, go back to basics? I wasn't waiting for something like this. It doesn't have to be free at all. I'll pay for it. So when a game like this on, it very much echoes like what Football Manager fans say, learn the meaning of going back to basics. Social games end up with repeated inflation. You get bored of them. I wish they were like the old Sakatsuki. Generally, home games were good. Like, look, We want to play not a gacha game like the It's interesting how similar that Japanese audience is to what we want. Like, I wish there was an explanation about changes. Hard to say. You know, I wonder if people want to play the console in a minority. It's kind of interesting. This, I think, disappointed by the fact it's a pay-to-play game. Like all this stuff, smartphone and multiplayer. I'm curious because the last game was. It's almost like this one doesn't, but yeah, it's like there's a shame isn't a retail version. You know, there's a team making the game, but people want that game. There's before sandbox games are fun because you play freely within them. Like, why isn't there a retail version? Like all the comments are like, almost all the comments are like this, right? I'm truly disappointed. Full version with more advanced and realistic version of winning €11. Priced at 8,000 yen. Soccer fans have been thrilled. Please resume the development of FM25. Kind of interesting. Please resume the development of FM25. Like, just interesting. The Japanese audience, I wish they'd stop using gacha to acquire players. Like, total kickback against this. And I'm fully on board with that kickback. Like, I don't want this kind of game. I don't want this kind of experience. Like, it's very predatory. Like, the gameplay loops tend to be pretty shallow and play, you know, bad elements of psychology rather than having engaging gameplay. They play on like gambling mechanics and like bits of your brain, like, yeah, and FOMO and things like that. I don't think it's healthy. And it's a real shame when you've got a really good game lying underneath, but we'll see. Fun of playing of consoles. The audience is not on board with that. Add the fun of online gaming. It's a real risk, isn't it? I mean, they've already done it once, but I'd quite like this original series to come back and to come to the West. So, okay, sorry, he's talking about the two different modes in the game. So there's the Satsuki mode and there's the online play mode. I'm curious if like that first mode is more like the original games and just isn't as gacha and free to play mechanic. That's the bit. If they've done that and they made it free to play, that would be really cool. Be like, hey, here's the ultimate team. Go into it. That's where your gacha is. And here's like your fun mode. It's free in the game. You just got to download the same game. There's Kazuki Honda. Soga Honda's here. There we go. That's a cool football he's holding, by the way. So they're going to talk to Honda now. Here he is. That actually, I tell you what, looking at him there, that's sort of more what I remember him looking like. I think they've definitely, like, that other picture is definitely like heavy. He doesn't have the same, he has the good cheekbones, but they're not quite the same as that other picture. I have to say. My name's Kazuki Honda, as if they don't all know. Skip past Kazuki Honda's bit, but if you want to go check, let's talk about having played it. But if you want to go check that, it's in the video. It was just how he's happy to have been playing the game. I mean, they brought Kazuki Honda in. They've got to use him for a bit, right? Like, you can't not use him. Wait, what's he saying there? Wait. I hope that this might be a mistranslation. Any of this might be a mistranslation. When that happens, I want to... Pause. I want to not be dependent on one personal parent company. So we need to create a system that allows Arab billionaires to avoid depending on royal families. The idea makes it seem so real. Let's all get involved. Is he... Okay, I'm missing some context there, but that's kind of curious what he's talking about. I think he's saying that we're not reliant on Arab billionaires and football clubs. But as they release a gacha game, it's kind of funny. Okay, that's something interesting there. So the design and systems of games are expanding on that, and to do expansion, you need a lot of money. You need fans. Okay, so let's talk about the expansion of stadiums, and you need fans to get that. So they've included a lot of financial management elements to the game, which is interesting. How that balances with like the gacha mechanics. There's a lot of these games, the finances are actually just like ever inflationary. Okay, so Honda is in the game himself. Those are the player cards. That's kind of cool. I don't know how many licensed teams there. Is he still playing? I believe he is still playing, right? Or is he retired now? No, he's retired, isn't he? Okay, he retired this year. I just checked it. Wait, so they've asked him about his player image. Has he not seen it? And I think he seems unsure by his own player image, which is kind of funny. What does he want changed? It's kind of curious that they do this in a presentation. Like, he's not prepped, he's not seen this stuff. It's not all clear cut. Yeah, the hair's, what they say, it's pretty good, to be fair. It's pretty good. But obviously he's their player model for the game. Like, weird. He's like, I'm not sure about it. Then he's like on stage, he doesn't really want to criticize it. Alright, they're going to give him a message in English. Interesting, so they broadcast this in Hong Kong. I wonder if there's an English translation of this.
Hi, KSK Honda here. Nice to meet you.
He's got an American accent. I never.
Become ambassador of Sega Football Club Championship 2025, and I'm honored being ambassador. And I hope you enjoy playing the game, new game. And of course, I'm gonna play too. So maybe let's compete. And yeah, let's compete.
The accent's kind of interesting, actually. There's a little bit of the German in there. The German speaking English. But it's not bad English. Good English. So this is then part 2 of the same conference that they did. They bring this guy out. I think he's playing a character. Well, I think that's a mistranslation as well. Welcome to the Immigration Center. I don't know. Unless that's the name of, that might be the name of the building. It doesn't sound right. There's the 2 modes, the Dream Team mode and the, it says Hill mode is a mistranslation. That's the regular mode. So they're saying that is the same experience as previous home games, which I sort of didn't get the feel of in the previous game, which is interesting. We'll see how gacha mechanics is. The comments don't seem so positive on that. Okay, so this is then them showing the game. So, you know, this is the practice session, the training session, giving instructions during the training session. And then, yeah, you can see the power, the giant power ratings, like in the thousands. That's got to, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe like some RPGs and stuff do like get into their big numbers. 2D match engine there, which is interesting. And the player cards are interesting. You know, that's sort of more of an Ultimate Team look than the last one. But hopefully, and you can see obviously Kashima Antlers versus Marinos there. So we have the J League teams. But yeah, is that like the rating? I don't know. There was a loss then, and some leveling up. They lost 4-0. So then this is the other mode. This is the online mode. It looks like a FIFA Rivals. Yeah, Rivals. You're just progressing up the divisions, facing opponents, and eventually, you know, getting to the top level. If it's gacha mechanics, it's just going to be like whoever has the players with the biggest numbers. This is back in the first mode then. So this is create your own original club. Or you can start with any of the licensed clubs. But graphically, this doesn't look too bad. I mean, it looks a bit better than you can design your kit. That looks kind of cool, that kit designer. That looks kind of fun. Yeah, we make some cool kits with that. Some of the training. I mean, graphically, this looks pretty good. Like, that looks good. It looks a bit like, I don't know, a football FIFA or something from 7-8 years ago, maybe. But yeah, bearing in mind this runs on mobile. I assume they're all pre-rendered animations, pre-rendered sort of scenes, these. You know, maybe just chopping out the player models. I would quite like to see some of the more like dynamic in-game play, which I think is maybe better to see. You do negotiations in your office. You're trying to get the negotiation right. I think it's interesting, maybe the gamification with the bar. You don't kind of get that feedback. Your feedback is all verbal for that kind of thing in Football Manager. There is a little bar, isn't there? There's a little annoyance bar. You got these conversations going on, which I think look interesting. So you've got these different events that are happening, and you've got to sort of resolve them in a way. And try and resolve them in the way you want. I don't know what the... Some things don't translate so well. I think it was about catching a frog. Probably an expression. So this is like then the tactical layout. Obviously just a tactical pitch this. You got your different formations. And there's that formations combo, which is the same as what we saw in the game we looked at yesterday. And there seems to be bonuses for some players. Okay, and then the actual game. Now, this is the bit we're most interested in, because this is what a football game could look like, maybe in Unity Engine. It looks quite good. Okay, he's changing the tactics. Interesting, that, actually. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I wonder what those little triangles and circles represent. And then when the opposition's got the ball, the positioning. Yeah, that's interesting. So this is your defensive positioning. Okay, curious. I wanted to see a bit more of that engine, but because I want to see sort of what the Unity engine's capable of. Hopefully they show us a bit more. But I mean, they're showing some of the it's kind of cool. Like, yeah, more supporters. I wonder what that image of supporters was. So they got Thief Pro, which gives them 5,000 players, which I think is what they had in the last game. And it's also where it's going to be sort of powered by Football Manager. I wonder if we'll see Mbappe. So he's just name dropped Mbappe. I think Mbappe probably will be in there somewhere. So Man City, yeah, the Man City players are obviously going to be in. We know that. So yeah, Steam, iOS, Android, some of the Chinese platforms as well. And PS4, PS5. Cross-play, cross-save. It's kind of cool. Like, you could play on your phone and then pick it up on your PlayStation or pick it up on your Steam account. That could be kind of cool. I might play this, maybe we'll stream this or something. Maybe we'll play this on the channel. It could be an interesting little aside. I don't know. I don't know if I want to get too much into the gacha of it, but great opportunity for supporters to appear in the drama scenes as supporters. Hey, that'd be kind of cool. I guess that's only Japanese. Hello, the fat guy from the immigration center. What is this fat guy from immigration? I mean, that is a cultural reference that's lost to me. This guy must be a character, I think. I don't know. Like with that bow tie, is he just like, I don't know. We'll see. So that was the presentation that Sega put out on the launch. It shows a bit more than we'd seen before. There are a few more posts as well. There's several players to raise clubs for management, transfer a player, reduce players' annual salary, transfer offers. So that's kind of interesting that maybe this isn't going to be quite so gacha in this mode. Here's negotiations and stuff like that. Go to the negotiating table. Try and sign some players or renegotiate their contracts. I think like this maybe isn't the same as quite as bad as we thought, or looking at that previous game, quite as bad as that. We'll see. So here we go. Yeah, again, just negotiating. I assume I can't read the Japanese, but I think that's what's happening. I mean, let's have a look. Let's see if we can we read these replies? Like, are these replies as negative as the YouTube ones? If you previous games you made a transfer, your trust in the team would go down. That's cool. That's kind of an interesting mechanic. Sounds interesting. Okay, so the replies to this are a little more positive. So Honda's team is also going to appear in the game. Edo All United. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, we saw that Honda is going to appear in the game as well. So entertainer Ijun Hiraki, this was the guy. He said he's a big fan of the series on his radio show. Okay, so he's like, I don't know if he's quite a character, but yeah. I mean, he's a character for sure, but I don't know if he's playing a character. He wants Lionel Messi at his home stadium in Arakawa. Okay. I think he said Mbappe, didn't he? Or maybe he said both. But yeah, 2 modes, winning mode and dream mode. So in the winning mode, you start not only with real clubs, but original clubs, have overseas players. Okay. So that's a few more screenshots there. So we have general practice, and then we have like this slightly silly drama scenes. And that's something I want to go back and play. Let's Build a Football Club, because I think that's the kind of stuff that looks kind of fun. in those older games. I didn't really see it in that mobile game like then. Like there wasn't really like the fun stuff, which you can definitely get out of a lot of Japanese style games. And then we saw, of course, the Manchester City announcement. And they said the title will change in the years. Okay, so there's they're just going to change the name of the game as the years go on, and they're going to develop it. And there's right, and then this article. They did a little interview, and there's some interesting things in here, right? So the first thing here, you might have seen the next bit already, but at the first point, we hadn't decided on a platform. At the time, the specs of smartphones were not enough to do what we wanted to do. Since then, technology's evolved, and we've confirmed the specs. So they're basically saying that smartphones are a lot more capable of what they're able to do. They were building this during COVID. They put it out sometimes. I see the words "powered by Foot Manager" title. What's that relationship? We use data from Foot Manager. Another reason for using the name Foot Manager is it has a great reputation when expanding globally. That's your answer, right? Put that on a postcard. Like there is the reason why Football Manager is in the powered by, and it was also in there in the last game as well. When you start Sakazuki mode in Japan, you start from favorite. Can you do the same in other countries? You start in Korea or Hong Kong? Okay, interesting. So in Europe, due to game design that involves gaining experience transfer, you cannot select at first, but gradually open up. And once you open up, you will establish a club. So is the version in Europe going to be different? I wonder if we're going to get a more gachified experience than the Japanese market. I wonder if we're only going to get the second half of the experience. I hope not. But now I'm curious. There were people exposed to soccer through this game. Of course, yeah. It's a free-play title, but how much require payment? In Dream Mode, there's gacha. Okay, so the Dream Mode has gacha, and you can add up to 2 players to Sakazuki mode per season, and then you can register the players you train there in Dream Mode and play against other users. So can you move... that might be a mistranslation, but I think you can move players from Dream Mode to Sakazuki mode. Sakasuko mode. Suku mode. And back the other way. Or you can only move to the other way. Hopefully you can move to the other way. And you can't move any into... Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. You can do what you like. It's your own single-player mode. But yeah, I would prefer if that sort of wasn't the case. But let's see. Yeah, so there's quite a lot there. And again, my thanks to FM Console for sharing a whole load of that with me. But keep your eye out for more stuff. If you spot anything, let me know. Send me a message or send FM Console. Please send him a message as well because he's been covering loads of this stuff. And yeah, if you didn't get a chance to check out my other video playing the last series in the game, check this video out. Otherwise, I'm going to have some other football videos here, and I'll catch you guys next time.